Hey everybody, we're back for another edition of Geek Gamer Weekly, and this week we have a fully packed show. We talk about Steam finally being released on Linux. It's out of beta. Also Tesla and Chris stripping. And all this and so much more in beautiful high definition. Geek Gamer Weekly is next. This is Geek Gamer Weekly, episode 228, recorded on Sunday, February 17th, 2013, a steamy compile of Linux. Geek Gamer Weekly is brought to you by PreSonus, makers of the Studio Live 1602, which packs superior audio quality, performance, and integrated software, including remote control, into a small, affordable package. For more information, visit PreSonus.com. Hey everybody, welcome again to another edition of Geek Gamer Weekly. This is the Uber podcast for geeks and gamers. We're back. Well, we were here for the past couple of weeks doing some technical previews, and now we are here and to bring you our first ever show in high definition. Same kind of show that you're probably ever used to. However, we have a loaded studio of some crazy people. Is that the way you do it? Is that how you're supposed to say it? Anyway, doesn't matter. I hear someone's playing something. Who's playing something?
Do you hear anything?
Oh, it's outside.
Yeah.
Oh, all right, whatever. Hi, everybody.
Jeez.
I knew I'm not going crazy. My name is Chase Ninnis. I will be your host, and we got a great panel this week. Starting us off first with this gentleman right here, coming to us live from here in the studio. He's thinking intently over there. Here he is, folks, Mr. John Kessler, our resident EVE Online specialist.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, give him a round of applause. How are you feeling, John?
The duckies are kind of like...
You're not very ducky today.
No.
I'm sorry to hear that, man.
Started last weekend. Last weekend I was...
You sound congested.
Yeah.
You sound real congested.
Yeah, last weekend I was just curled up in a little ball with a fever sleeping.
Were you sucking your thumb, rocking back and forth?
I was out. Sorry.
That's all right. But you know what? I did pull a couple stories that I want your car insight on this week, so hopefully you'll be game for that.
Yeah.
All right. Also joining us this week, we've had him on the show before, and he's back by popular demand. One of the proprietors of Jupiter Broadcasting.
Oh, hey, Chase.
Co-host to me on a show called Unfilter, and John Kessler sneaks in over there. Here he is, Jupiter Broadcasting's own Chris Fisher. Hey, Chris.
Hello, hello.
How are you, man?
Fantastic, Chase.
I know you're not very happy that...
Fired up, ready to go.
Fired up, ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a PR40.
I'm ready to go.
I need a PR40. I don't sound good.
And I'm here for some very important news stories.
Yeah, very, very, very strictly important.
I mean, I came loaded.
This is a very, very serious show.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Very serious.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Serious.
Very serious.
Now we're going to go more serious here. First off, I want to introduce this gentleman. He's a big fan of Minecraft Me, Geek Gamer Weekly, and I decided, well, you know what? We can't have Joe Falby on the show this week. Why? Because he's one of the admins at PDXLAN in Portland, Oregon, and he's busy doing that. So we scoured the web, and we found another Joe, a substitute Joe.
Just another Joe.
Just another Joe. Here he is. His name is Joe Huckabee. Hey, Joe.
Chase, you need to change my lower third to read Just Another Joe.
Just Another Joe.
No, it's really good to be here. Thanks for having me.
Hey, no problem, man. And we'll come back to you in a minute because there's going to be some questions like, who are you? And why are you here? Other than the fact that you have an ATR 2100. That's
yes, just like Joe does.
Just like Joe does. That laugh you hear is like Top Shelf. If you're listening to 99.9 KISW in Seattle, he's on the show once again. I don't know why, but here he is. John Bubb.
So I figured out what Chase is doing now. He's trying to find replacements for everybody in the studio. He's got a John sub, a Joe sub.
Pretty soon.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna need a Chris sub here in a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if I can actually find a Chase sub, then
Not
I'll
possible.
do it. Oh,
possible.
not possible. Don't inflate my ego, please. Okay, so we have a great show lined up for you guys. A huge show, a stupendous show, so big we can't believe that this show could contain it. But it's been contained in the best lower. No, wrong show. There's another lower third, better lower third than mine lower third. So before we get into the stories, I want to introduce Joe Huckabee. I was going to say Jay Huckabee. See, I always say his chat room name, Jay Huckabee. So that's my fault.
Everyone does. It's fine.
But Joe, you've done a lot of cool things for a lot of internet broadcasters. You've actually built Twitty, a really cool MAME cabinet and such. But your experience doesn't go to carpentry. Carpeting. You actually put in
we
carpet.
need another Chase sub.
Yeah, we need a sub. But Joe, why don't
We
you
need
real
one that can talk.
why don't you real quick tell people a little bit about your background and what you do?
Certainly, I'll be happy to. Well, I'm actually a programmer by trade, so I basically do HTML5 and JavaScript programming. I work for ADP currently, but in my spare time, I love to make video games and I love to play games, and I'm just an all-around geek. And I love internet broadcasting too, so I'm always interested in watching Geek Gamer, and I watch Twit and a bunch of other guys too, and
Sweet.
just really interested in the
GFQ.
tech and the geek culture.
He's never heard of GFQ before, and we're going to keep it that way. No, I'm kidding. As a matter of fact, we're being simulcasted live on GFQ right now. Thanks, GFQ. We appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Yeah, John's the one who actually handles all the controls over there. Should we actually go
I'm
to
the
a
one that's
story?
controlling all of GFQ today. I already did a show today that I ran from here in Michigan. So
Well, I was going to ask you, John. I mean, it's one of those things where you have control. You have more control than probably Andrew does, right?
yeah.
That's scary to think about. You have more control of the equipment that's in his house. That's the scary thing. But all right. Hey, let's get to a story, shall we? Lots of great news in technology and gaming. We have some also later on in the show. We have some special announcements that I want to share with you about changes upcoming to Geek Gamer Weekly. Changes that are for the positive, not for the negative. I'm always a forward thinker. But this week, we're going to go to our tried and true method of delivering news with great informational insight and wisdom. I'm
telling you, we need another Chase sub.
I'm gone. I was fine up until about 10 minutes ago. Our first story, top story. Steam for Linux is out of beta, and it's now here. Yay! Isn't that gorgeous? Actually, that looks really good. That's the Linux Penguin having some cake, even though the cake is a lie.
Seems to be really going all out, don't they? Valve's really giving it the old college try here.
So, Chris, you do an awesome Linux show, and if
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
if people haven't checked it out yet, they need to. It's the Linux Action Show. It's every Sunday morning on the Jupiter Broadcasting Network. How many years now have you been doing that show?
We're just about coming up to 7.
Wow. And it's the Linux show on the internet. Bar none.
Thank you, sir.
Hands down. There's other networks that try to do Linux stuff, but you do it in such a fun and informative way.
Yeah, well, we had a lot of fun with this story because obviously Steam coming to Linux has been big, right?
Huge.
Because whenever you look at the adoption of Linux on the desktop, the number one thing is always, well, I'd love to give Ubuntu a try, but it doesn't have my video games.
No.
Right?
Right.
That's been a huge problem.
Well, not even games, but like graphic support. There's fear that like it doesn't support.
And what's been really interesting is Valve in their effort on bringing Steam, and it's not just Steam, but it's also the Source engine and a lot of other people who sell games on Steam. I mean, a lot of this has been a huge opportunity for independent gamers because they're porting their games over to Linux and they're getting people who want to buy Steam games for Linux to purchase. And so what Valve has been doing to sort of help encourage this is they've been working with NVIDIA, ATI, and Intel directly to fix the video drivers. And in the last 3 months, Linux has seen huge improvements to its video drivers. In fact, it's gotten to the point now where with Left 4 Dead, they're seeing better frame rates on the early ports of Left 4 Dead for Linux than they
Wow.
are seeing Left 4 Dead for Windows, which they have had years and years and years to refine.
So you've been actually testing out and messing around
Yeah, since
with
about
this
December.
Since December.
Yeah.
How has it been with your personal experience?
You know, the Steam client itself is it's just as good as it is on Windows. It's better than it is on the Mac for sure. I mean, my personal experience on the Mac has been pretty mixed with Steam, but on Linux, it's very fast, it's very responsive, it's very stable.
Yeah.
And then once the games get supported status, it's really no different than loading the Steam game on any other computer. You go to your library. If you've already bought it, you just click install. If you haven't bought it, you go to the store, you buy it. It
Right.
downloads and installs.
Yeah.
The experience, if you've used Windows for your entire computing life and you sat down with Steam on Linux, you would have zero learning curve.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really simple. And I've been playing, like, for example, Trine 2, which I don't know if you've played Trine. Beautiful game. Absolutely beautiful. It's $3 right now because they're selling it for 75% off because as part of the official Linux launch, they're doing a huge sale. So for $3, I mean, I think I paid $15 when this game came out. It is a bargain at $15. At $3, I feel like I'm punching them in the nuts and I'm stealing this game. And what's really cool is because it supports Steam Cloud Save. I played this game 6 months ago on my Hackintosh, saved it, and then 6 months down the road, I bought it for Steam for Linux. And Steam Cloud just synced up my game save, and I resumed playing my game on Linux that I played on the Mac 6 months ago.
So I got to ask you something, and I think some of our chat room might be a little misinformed. Ubuntu is really easy to set up nowadays, right? I mean, basically, you have your boot disk. It will look at what you have on your computer, pretty much set everything up for you.
Yeah.
Is the setup maybe just as easy or as hard, like setting up a Windows machine, essentially? I mean, you still
Would
have
you
to
consider? I would actually consider it easier.
It's easier now.
Because there's no drivers you have to really worry about afterwards.
Right, okay.
You know, because the
All right.
Linux kernel has built-in drivers for the video card, has built-in drivers for the network card, built-in driver for the audio card. So as long as, and what's great
Don't
is
be afraid.
the way you install Ubuntu is you boot off a live CD. You boot off that live CD. If everything works, then you know that once it installs, everything works. There's no like go out to NVIDIA's website and download the latest driver because it's all built into the Ubuntu packaging system. It goes out and gets the latest driver for you. So it's actually, in some regards, it's easier now.
That sounds easy.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's kind of like the Mac in that way, where like when you install a Mac, you don't go out and get drivers.
You
afterwards.
don't need to know command line much. I mean,
Not
do
really
you?
for Ubuntu, especially not for Steam.
Okay.
Yeah. If
So-
you want to get a little more advanced.
So essentially, if you have a decent system and you
Yeah.
don't want to pay the Windows tax, you can actually have a really decent gaming system.
I've also been suggesting it for people who have XP that
Right.
don't want to go to 8 and they skipped over Vista and 7, or people that don't want to go to 8 and have 7.
Right.
It's a good option.
Now, John Bubb, or I'll start with you. Have you messed around with Linux? I know you've been kind of going towards the Hackintosh route. We'll talk about that during the pick of the week here at the end of the show. But have you ever messed around with Linux and kind of tried that out?
Yeah, I've messed around with it a few times, even all the way back to when there was like Red Hat and Fedora was new.
Wow. So yeah, you got some
I've
experience.
done it all the way back then, but it's never something that's really interested me. Like to me, I get more work done in Windows. That's just how I am, you know.
Right.
There's a time and a place for Linux, in my opinion.
Jay Huckabee, obviously
sir.
you're a big gamer,
I am.
huge gamer, huge, and no doubt that this is probably a big announcement for you as well.
It is. Now, I have a lot of experience with Linux, but primarily on the server. I use it on all the various servers I have at work and for personal use. I don't actually use Linux on the desktop all that much, but it's great news to hear that Ubuntu is a lot easier to use now and easier to install. And also, I think that a lot of people have been kind of waiting for this. A lot of people have been waiting for the games to finally get ported over to Linux to make the switch. Because I know a lot of people who don't really like Windows and they don't care for Windows 8, and they're just using it because there's nothing else better for them.
Or they don't
right?
know. Yeah, they don't know.
They don't know any better.
Yeah.
So I think that I think if Microsoft has anything to be afraid of
Yeah.
in the future, this is one of the things.
There's a lot of people who see I think the fundamental challenge that Microsoft is struggling with at this point is that computers have gotten good enough for everybody but us. So everybody except for the geeks, computers have been good enough for about 5-6 years. And even some of the geeks, I mean, right next to me is a computer. How old is this computer? 5 years old?
The Electronics Weezer?
That has got to be older than 5 years.
No, he dropped it into a swimming pool, so he added a few years.
Anyway, okay, all right, because I'm looking at the screen. All right. Anyways, so you take a machine like that, say it's 5 years old, you're definitely not putting Windows 8 on that. Absolutely, there's no way you're going to put Windows 8 on that.
It does have a touchscreen though.
Oh,
I probably
really?
wouldn't even put Windows 7 on it.
Wow. Okay, so you could actually load Ubuntu 12.04 or even better, Ubuntu 13.04 on that machine. You would have an absolutely modern operating system that has a fully touchscreen capable interface in Ubuntu 13.04. So you could actually take a machine like this. Now, I'm not trying to sell you on this, but I'm just pitching the example because that's XP, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a lot of people who do not give a crap about Windows 8, but they just want to go to Google, they want to go to Facebook, and they want to check their email, and now that they can play a few of their Steam games, they're happy. But the angle that is really, Valve's really going after here is what I love about their strategy is you don't even have to have Linux on the desktop be successful at all because they're also doing the Steam box, which is Linux-based. So all of the work they're doing to make Steam awesome on Linux, to make the video drivers better for Linux, is going to also make their Steam box a better hardware box.
So here's my question for you, Chris.
Yeah.
Now we know that Linux and gaming and Valve's going that direction. They're trying to get the hardcore, gamer geek out there.
Yes.
But how do they break through the wall of the consumer that when they hear the word Linux and they go, "Ooh,
well,
I don't know. I mean that seems a little too techie for me."
But did that stop you from buying an Android device?
No, but you can't ask me. You can't ask.
But look
like
at
me.
Android, right? Android's blowing up.
Right. But the
That's
only
running
reason,
Linux?
but the only reason why Android's blowing up because it's out there, it's everywhere that you could. Consumer
Because a
pick it up
company,
like the iPhone
company
is.
that has good market penetration that you trust, Google,
Right.
is selling it.
Okay.
Well, Valve's going to do that with the Steam box. You won't even know it's running Linux.
It's not
It's
the
going to
same.
run Big Picture. It's going to be Steam. It'll boot up. It's Big Picture mode. You don't even care that it's Linux.
Go ahead, John.
I see. I don't know that it's necessarily the same like that. I mean, Android and the iPhone are Linux derivatives. They at the core are Linux, but you
No,
can
the
do
iPhone is
so
not.
much to it where the person that's using it doesn't know it's Linux.
Right, and I think the Steam box will be the same.
And I think that's part of it too. Is that you don't market this as something that's Linux.
Right. No, but
You
my
tell
point is that
people
they're...
what it is. You tell them something else. Like a lot of routers have embedded Linux in it, but most people that buy these routers
My
don't even know
TV
that.
has Linux.
But as a result of
yeah.
the fact that your router is running Linux, Linux has one of the best networking stacks in the world because so many devices have that code that they have made it awesome. Just like Valve making the Steam box will make gaming on desktop Linux even better because that code goes right back into the same exact code that powers the desktop Linux. So, you guys don't have to run Ubuntu for Steam on Linux to be successful because they're going to make their own hardware running Linux.
Right.
So I think they have a pretty good strategy here. My point is with Android is I don't think you'll ever buy a Steam box. I don't think it's going to have a big Linux sticker on it. I think it's just going to have Steam on it. And they might not even mention it runs Android Linux.
Well, remember when the Dreamcast came out? They had that little Windows CE sticker on there, made with Windows CE. So you never know; they might put a little penguin on there.
But see, the person
Made with love.
that's
I'd love it.
Probably interested
Yeah,
in
I would
buying that
too.
really doesn't care. They care, does it work good? Is it easy to use? That's
Right.
what they really care about. They don't care what.
Have you tried Big
what's it
Picture? It's out
being
now.
run on.
Yeah, Big Picture's really good.
Yeah, it's out now. You don't have to have a Steam box to try it. So Big Picture is just in the latest version of Steam. You just hit it up in the top right corner of the Steam client. It's really good, and that's what the Steam box will be running. It's easy.
No, it's really a revolution on finally for the PC gamers out there who, want another option other than Mac, and a free and cheap option.
Yeah, and one that you don't have to worry about malware.
That's true.
You don't have to worry.
Well, not
It's-
yet, right?
Well,
It's
yeah,
great
I was just
for-
about to say that. Not yet.
Not yet.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I think Linux is. You see, Linux is not a small operating system. Linux is used on actually 40% of computing devices shipped today run Linux, either Android or embedded Linux or whatever it is. So Linux actually has a massive deployment base.
Yeah.
It's more actually widely deployed than Windows is. But the fundamental user architecture makes it so that it's harder to exploit. So I wouldn't necessarily say, yeah, it's probably going to be more targeted, but it's already on basically every web server that runs anything important. So it's not like it's not a small target already.
That's true.
And see, that's kind of my analogy is that a person that goes to a website, they don't care if it's running Linux and Apache or if it's running Microsoft IIS.
Right.
They just care, can they get to the website and does it look good?
Well,
can I use the website the way I want?
Well, not only that, but can they run what they know to use? Like, can the computer open up Office app or Office documents? Can it do what I normally do? Do I have to jump through hoops to set up my printer? I mean, like those little itty bitty things.
I think it's interesting because the core point here is they're not going to care what it runs. They don't care if it runs Linux. They don't care if isn't that the worst case scenario for Microsoft? Because once you don't care, once things become web apps, once things become cloud-based services, all I really need is a web browser. And then you start to see the Chromebook making sense. You start to see Microsoft's dominance potentially having
is the service not making sense to you because they're trying to alleviate the OS in a way, make Metro apps. Or I'm not talking about the Surface Pro. I'm talking about their normal Surface tablet and their Windows Phone thing.
The Surface RT.
The Surface RT. I mean, aren't they trying to do the same thing?
Yeah, it's not working so hot.
No,
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah,
it's tough because
it is.
They're still promoting the Windows name really hard though. It's Surface with Windows RT.
Right.
And so they're really banking on that name. But I think you're right. I think that they have a problem coming down the pipeline in that people don't really care anymore. They just want stuff to work, period.
Yeah.
And when
they
you
want
add
user experience.
When you add things like Steam Cloud Save, where I played a game on one operating system and in 6 months I loaded on another operating system, I resume right where I'm left off, or if I need to edit, like all of us doing the show right now, we're all running different operating systems, and we're just using a Google Doc, and it doesn't matter. We don't have to have Office or anything.
Yeah.
And this kind of seems like the way of the future to me.
Yeah, where you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's talk about a company that right now they're slipping a little bit when it comes to their stock. Now it's still expensive, and I'm talking about Apple stock. I think last time I looked, their stock was at $435 or $40. I don't remember. It was high as 700.
$460 right now.
$460. It was high as 700 plus. But last week, Apple announced that they are cutting prices on all of their 13-inch MacBook Pro with Retina, and at the same time, they've updated it with faster processors. Ain't that neat? Depending on the storage and the options, you could save anywhere from $200 to $300. Now, also earlier this week or last week, Apple unveiled their 128 gigabyte iPad as well. So Apple's been trying to make some subtle changes. Still no announcements yet on their freaking Mac Pro. The hell?
This year. It'll be this year. It'll be this year.
I don't believe you.
There's rumors floating all around that the Mac Pro announcement will be this the spring, I think, or early summer. I think they do their
still rumors.
Worldwide Developers Conference. Well, we'll see. We'll see. I'm really thinking the new Pro will be this year, and it's going to be a small Pro. It's going to be they're going to shrink it down. They have to. They're doing that to everything.
And then use Thunderbolt for all the extra stuff. Huh.
Yeah.
Yep, it'll be Thunderbolt everywhere.
It's just not the same. My wife and I were just having this conversation. She has like 400 gigs of photos and ridiculous amounts of music, and she has an iMac. And we were sitting there talking after a while, and she just looks at me and she says, "If I had a tower, we would just open it and put another drive in it, wouldn't we?" And I said, "Yep." And that it's really like it's still a problem. So now we have this problem where she has this iMac and she's rapidly running out of hard drive space. She's got like 100 gigs left for like everything, all of her apps, all her OS.
But that's what the cloud is for, Chris. If you have everything in the cloud, then you don't have to worry about that because it's all in the cloud.
But that doesn't work that well yet when you're importing and exporting photos and editing. It's just not there yet. So, and if she had a tower, I would just pop open the side. I would slide in their drive in and say, okay, that's your photo hard drive. And there you go.
Yeah. Why do you guys think Apple cut the prices on the MacBooks? Or are they trying to?
Because they're overpriced.
Well, we already knew this. We already knew this. But obviously, they're still making a killing because of the Apple tax on top of what they're charging, of course. However, is this a response to their stock price? Is this response that we want people to see that we're being aggressive here? I mean,
weren't they saying that? Back when their stock was really slipping, that was they're coming out now saying that it was due to some hedge fund stuff being sold off in the last quarter of 2012.
Oh yeah, there
like
was
that.
something about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
it's
that's why their stock
A
slipped.
35-40% drop, though? That's substantial.
It is.
Have you seen the reporting on that? Have you not? Have you not?
I haven't
seen
seen that, no.
So, basically, the way it went down is there was a whole group of investors that stood to make billions and billions of dollars if Apple closed exactly at $500 on a certain day. And right as all this stuff happened, they closed exactly at $500. That was the thing. I don't really remember the. It doesn't really matter. I mean, the reason why they lowered the price is, yeah, maybe they did it for the stock. Sure. I mean, who knows? The other reason they did it is because this is the Tim Cook model. You build something until you get the production pipeline and all of the resources in place, and then once you've paid for the cost of that, you lower the product price and you continue manufacturing it, and you still make money. That's why they're continuing to produce iPhone 4s. I mean, Apple today, this very day, is still manufacturing the iPhone 4.
Yeah.
Not the
And they're
5
free.
and the 4S, of course, but also the 4 because they
People are still buying it.
Yeah,
It brings
I
down
think
the
they're
cost.
a lot more unpredictable now with Tim Cook at the helm.
Right.
Yep, I completely agree. This is Tim Cook at his core is the supply chain management.
All
guy.
right, so we don't have a red book. This is an unfiltered, but what Apple product do you think is going to be manufactured here in the States? Is it going to be the new Mac Pro? Is it going to be the Mac Minis? What is going to be manufactured here in the States?
I think they said it was going to be the iMac, didn't they? They were
Oh,
going to
did they say
start
iMac?
building- I believe they did. That's back actually last year in October. Some of the new iMacs will be made in the U.S. Not all of them. They're not going to bring the whole line here, but some will. That's at least what was said in October. I don't know if anything's changed since then.
It's 200 jobs. It's 200 jobs.
Hey, Chris, every job is important.
All right. Well, Lenovo's
Take it from me.
Lenovo's,
Every job's important.
Lenovo's bringing
You got to
5,000.
start somewhere.
How come we're not talking about Lenovo bringing 5,000 jobs?
Because they're a Chinese company.
Yeah.
I'm-
Because they didn't get a mention at the State of the Union.
That's true.
That's a good point.
Chris
Yeah.
and I were going back and forth on that one. No, hey, now, if you're going to buy an Apple product, and let's say, for example, you find a really, really, really cheap price for one online, but you can't get it immediately, but you need it immediately, and maybe your local Best Buy down the street has one, and man, you can get it dirt cheap on Amazon. Best Buy has announced that they're going to make their internet price matching policy permanent. Now, they put this into place during the Christmas holiday season, and they extended it out a little bit, but they are going to extend it out permanently. But however, there's one small thing, not everything's good news. Best Buy is going to change their return policy now from 30 days to 15 days.
For everything across the board?
Everything across the board.
This is how they're making up the money. Right?
Yeah,
because if they do that
basically.
across the board, not just internet
That's right.
stuff.
Yeah.
There's another caveat too to that. As I read in the article, it's only some online retailers they'll match.
Oh, of course. They're not going to match JoeBlows.com.
Right.
Monoprice.
exactly.
They don't.
It has
They
to
probably
be-
won't. Is Monoprice one of them? They'll match. Will they match Monoprice?
Well,
I didn't see that
if
listed.
Monoprice has Monster Cable,
I'll
probably.
go rob them blind of HDMI cables if they will.
Well, but does Monoprice sell Monster Cable? No.
Oh, it's the brand too.
Well,
it's the brand.
it has to be apples for apples. You
Right,
can't
right.
match
That's right.
something of a like something.
right.
Yeah, it has to match exactly.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
'Cause it has to be the barcode, isn't it?
Does it have to be the model
You
number?
bring you bring. I think it's done by the model number because you, as it says, you bring in a URL and you show it to them on your phone or something, and they can
Yeah,
validate
I'm
it
going
like
to
that.
trust my phone. Do you remember that controversy where like you would look up prices on their store computers and it would show different prices?
That's why you
Yeah, I
use
remember
your,
that.
your 3G or 4G connection.
Yeah.
You don't use the store's Wi-Fi.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yep.
You use
Spoof
your,
sites.
is this going
Problem
to
solved.
All right, so here
Or don't buy it from Best Buy.
obviously Best Buy is trying to be aggressive.
Better idea.
Oh, so you're saying now even with this price policy, still don't buy from Best Buy? I mean, what's wrong? If they're going to be
Best Buy,
aggressive on,
they'll try and screw you over however they can.
yeah,
It's a poor customer experience shopping there, and also
Yep.
I don't like having to return. I'd much rather use Amazon's return policy and the way that they handle returns versus Best Buy.
As far
I
as-
think the Best Buy. Sorry, what?
No, I agree with you right there. As far as Amazon's return policy goes, they're very fair, and they don't hassle you about it. And you just set it. You can go online.
See here, like another company that will match internet prices is Fry's Electronics. Now they're not everywhere in the U.S., mostly on the West Coast, and I think not Canada, but Texas. they match internet prices. Now, the thing that's unique about Fry's is they're a huge electronics superstore. So if there's something that's I need to have and I can't really wait for internet shipping and it's not available on Amazon Prime,
Yeah, that's a good point.
then I will take advantage of these policies.
Right, yeah. That's the scenario. That's a great business model for them, Chase. They're going to make millions, right? I mean, because honestly, with Prime for me, when I bought Amazon Prime 3 years ago, that destroyed Best Buy. As far as I stopped going to Best Buy. I stopped going to Radio Shack.
I did too.
Yeah.
I did too.
Yeah.
Yep. Same thing.
So you guys are in the opinion camp that this is not going to help Best Buy at all?
Oh, no, it
Or
will.
you think
for
it will?
exactly what you're talking about.
Right.
And because they're going to save money on the returns. So they don't have to, so if they cut all the returns to 15 days, that's going to save them money across the board too.
Yeah.
There are some times where like I've been researching monitors and stuff like that, and I was looking to get one on Best Buy, and it was on sale for $296. But then, a couple of days ago, I went back to check the price, and it's no longer on sale. The non-sale price, $399.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh.
How the heck do you justify over $100 more for something that was on sale?
You don't.
What do you do there? How do I
Although, on the
transition?
other hand, one of the reasons why I was looking at Best Buy was the fact that if I were to order that monitor, I could return it to the store if I didn't like it.
We cube. Sorry, I love.
Speaking
That's his
of
monitor.
hey Chase, speaking of things you might want to return, this New York Times guy is out driving this Tesla.
I was going to segue to this.
I'm sure he wanted to return that car after he was done with his review.
Oh my God! So I got a couple of car stories in here because John's our resident car dude, but we're also technology fans, and the Tesla S is an incredible automobile, just incredible. It's got an incredible range. It's all electric.
What is the range?
I believe it's 200 miles.
Or something. Yeah.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's built down in Fremont, California, and Joseph's backyard there. And there was a New York Times review. I'm not going to get through. I'm going to give you guys the Cliff Notes version. Basically, the New York Times reviewer said the car was crap, that it had a limited range,
Surprise.
and
What a
that
surprise.
and that he ran out of power and he barely made it off the freeway.
What a surprise.
So
I didn't think New York had any big freeways. Sorry.
So the CEO of Tesla, his name is Elon Musk.
I like that last name.
Musk got the car, tested it out, and this car has an incredible computer system, probably running some sort of custom thing of Linux.
Cisco.
All right,
Just kidding.
whatever. And he checked it, and the car never ran out of power. According to the data, and he put out the pure data. He's fighting this review vigorously, basically saying that the reviewer from the New York Times, shocker, is a liar. So how do you
Are
guys?
saying that the New York Times lies?
I wouldn't say that, but now I was telling John about this story, and we're and this we'll go into our next story after this. But I mean, what do you guys think? I mean, is this old media trying to poo-poo a new technology that they don't know much about? Are they trying to extinguish a new and upcoming thing, especially when it comes to an all-electric vehicle that is quite possibly it's a beautiful car. I mean, look at this car. It's just gorgeous. It's fast. It's got incredible torque. It's really nice. But what do you guys think about this?
Somebody's related to the oil industry.
Do you think it's that plain and simple, that it's some sort of backhanded deal where you need to say some bad things about the Tesla?
That or the guy's related to somebody out of one of the American. I mean, like GM or Ford.
Do you think that's really what it is, or do you think this guy just did a bad review? I mean,
Did he actually do a review?
He's driving in the super cold weather. He didn't follow proper charge policies. He speeded a couple times when he said he wasn't speeding, but that's really all he did that's wrong. I mean, as far as like the car saying it had 0 miles left when it really didn't, and running out of juice, all that stuff really happened.
But Elon Musk took the car, and according to their logs,
But the data does show that some of the stuff he talked about did happen. What the data mainly disputes is the speed at which he was traveling and the length of what he was doing. And the other thing it disputes is that he didn't stop at some of the supercharging stations, which he could have.
So why did this guy lie? That's my question here.
I actually don't think he did lie so much. I think
He omitted the truth.
I think he is not a proper product reviewer.
Well, if he got us the car,
that didn't happen. I mean, this is.
So have you seen his rebuttal? He posted a rebuttal.
oh,
Have
he
you seen
did.
it?
I did not see the rebuttal.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. What's the rebuttal?
Well, and he kind of comes. I mean, he does admit to like missing a few things, but he also
He still thinks it's crap.
If you look at it, there's actually been a few rebuttals to Elon Musk's points too, as well. So it's back and forth now. It's like an onion here. You keep peeling it back, and people keep having arguments. I think the core argument still the New York Times guy exaggerated. He didn't follow proper procedures, but at the same time, he really did call like Tesla support like a dozen times, and they really did have a lot of problems. And the car really did die like completely at one point, and really did have to get towed.
Electric vehicles have a lot of problems.
Ooh, that's a real blanket statement.
They're new technology, so they're probably going to have some quirks
exactly
when they first come out. But I think it's really interesting. The thing that I find creepy about this is the New York Times article went out, and then Elon replies and goes, "No, you're wrong.
Yeah.
I have your logs right here because your car sent us the logs of where you charged, how much how much electricity you had left in the batteries. He knew everything, and that's kind of creepy." Apparently you can turn that off so you can have your car in private mode, but it's just like, wow, you're reviewing the car and all the telemetry, all the metadata is going right back to Tesla. It's like, we know what you're doing in our car.
Well, like if you get in an accident with most cars that are made today, they have those onboard computers that they don't report back in real time using your car's Wi-Fi or 3 or 4G connections, but there's onboard computers now.
Well, it's crash data in the airbag controller. I mean, they've been doing that for 15 years.
Yeah, but the problem with that is,
not
you've
longer.
heard about families and where there's major accidents, and they try to get that data, and the companies won't release it. Like that whole Toyota situation where there's a family that was involved in an accident with I think it was a stuck accelerator, and they wouldn't give up the information because it's a proprietary company.
Yeah,
blah, blah, blah.
it's most of the scanners. I mean, unless it's a dealer scanner, most of the stuff will not let you see that.
So if electric cars are not the solution, okay, if they're not the solution, maybe we should look to Europe.
Come on, one test. Come on.
Maybe we should look to Europe and see what they're doing over there.
Wait,
because
like something like diesel?
yeah, I mean, John, weren't you telling me that higher gas mileage, better resale value, vehicles last longer?
Why don't they do hybrid? Why don't they do diesel electric hybrids? Why is it gasoline electric?
John, would you know?
More gas stations.
No, that-
yeah.
I mean, a lot of gas stations have diesel.
yeah.
So that seems like the perfect hybrid to me. Right?
What do you guys think it is? I mean, I'm right now. I'm actually in the market to look for a new vehicle. Not new. I don't want to get mail. A vehicle, a used vehicle, probably a Jetta TDI or a Golf TDI, just because I'm interested in better gas mileage. I'm better in longevity of an engine, and I'm going to pay cash for it. I'm not going to. I'm not going to submit myself to a car payment.
Doesn't diesel normally cost more than gasoline?
But you're going to make up for that
in a way kind of a trade-off.
But you're going to make up for that in maintenance, and you're going to make up for that in mileage, wouldn't you, John Kessler?
Yes and no. I mean, a lot of it is a little bit of a trade-off. The issue here is in the U.S., even if they did, like you were saying earlier, start making more cars, regular sedans, for everyday people in diesel.
Jetta TDI, hello.
Well, I mean,
maybe you don't want to. Why doesn't? That's the thing. Like, why doesn't Ford make an American diesel sedan, or why doesn't Chevy make a diesel sedan, or Yeah,
I mean, if the problem with breaking out into that and getting those ultra high mileage pieces is if the U.S. fuel sucks. The tolerant or the specs for the European diesel fuel is way higher than it is here. Their price per gallon is a lot higher than it is, but like I said, it goes back to a trade-off. They're getting 65 miles, plus miles per gallon.
Now,
but they're probably paying 2 or 3 times much as we are per gallon. So it's all it all ends up being kind of a trade off. But they do get higher mileages.
Now, Chrysler has announced, and I'm looking a little bit more deeper into the article here, that the Ram 1500 diesel pickup will be coming out in a 2014 model. In addition, they're also going to come out with a Jeep Grand Cherokee SUV and possibly a diesel Jeep Wrangler. And they'll be coming to some West Coast cities like Seattle, also St. Louis, Atlanta, Baltimore. Here it is. Chevrolet is planning a diesel version of its Cruze Compact. There you go. So
I feel like I've been hearing these diesel stories my entire life.
is it so? Is it just because of the picture that people have in their head about old diesel, the big black smoke and
Nope.
the knocking and pinging? What is it, then,
Nope.
Chris? What is it? What's the answer?
I don't have that answer.
You don't have the answer.
But I really do remember throughout my entire life hearing about, U.S. car manufacturer X is finally going to start producing a diesel vehicle.
Right.
I mean, seriously.
Well, there's been diesel vehicles being produced all the time. They're usually just a pickup truck or like a Ram pickup truck.
But I really feel like I've always heard about a car, and then I've always heard everybody going on about how great diesel is, and then nothing ever happens.
Well, Europe.
Yeah, that's
Deals
always
with
what
the
people
diesel?
say. That's always what people say.
So
Every time.
So what we need to do is be more like Europe. That's what we need
Well,
to do.
I guess so.
Yeah, that is true in a lot of ways.
Yep.
Is it true that we can just put biodiesel in diesel engines without any type of conversion? Is that possible?
I thought they need to be modified a little bit to take care of that.
To a degree.
You
I mean,
gotta give them love, right?
yeah.
You got to get some French fries.
Some of it is they do a mix. You can do straight. Biggest part is with
Vodka.
the vodka.
Straight up.
The stronger the vodka in your peanut oil there works better. Biggest part of some of the stuff that they have to change is fuel heaters, or ways to switch it back over to diesel for the last couple minutes of running. That way, the biggest problem with your deep fryer oil from Jack in a Box is the stuff coagulates as it sits overnight. Gels up your pumps. So like people have to switch back over to diesel so it keeps the pumps primed when they shut it off, or they run a mix, and preheaters, heating systems on the fuel.
John, I mean, you what's your official title in what you do?
I am a.
You, full disclosure, we won't say the name, but you work at a car repair shop.
You can say it's
okay. Woodinville Sports Cars.
Woodinville Sports Cars.
Okay. I was going to protect you.
I'm their
Your service writer.
advisor. Yeah, service
I'm
advisor.
Googling it right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but John, I mean, you have a lot of experience with cars.
I worked 12 years myself as a tech.
Would you recommend a diesel vehicle to somebody? Since you've been around cars for a long period of time, would you recommend?
They're not for everybody.
Who are they for?
People that are kind of more car geeky, I guess.
Okay.
Someone does a lot. Puts a ton of miles on.
Right.
Does a lot of
like
driving.
a commuter car.
A commuter car.
Okay.
But someone's looking at it's looking for their kid caravan.
If they're looking for high performance, stay away from it.
Not so much on the high performance. Even though I've seen some pretty fast TDIs.
Yeah.
Or soccer moms. That's not going to work. They need to be able to jump in the car and go. Even though they do start and stop pretty fast. They start pretty fast now, but someone that's just commuting and needs it's good.
All right. Then I will continue my diesel search.
Mm-hmm.
Let's move on to some gaming topics, shall we? And this first story, we're going to have some stories about some next generation stuff, but let's talk about a current next generation console, and that is the Wii U. Okay. Now they had an okay, I guess if you call it, holiday season. It wasn't huge. It was okay, but unfortunately, a current report puts the Wii U to catastrophic levels. Wow, what a title! Catastrophic levels in January. Now, the 360 is still the best-selling console right now, currently in the U.S. For the 16th consecutive month, shipments of the Wii U, however, fell below sales of the GameCube.
Oh my God!
Is that for real?
That's for real. Let me. I think there was.
Nintendo sold 425.
Here's a chart, by the way. The Wii is.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
The green line is actually Xbox.
This is Xbox, but
yeah.
Falling off the cliff.
yeah, this is December and then January 2013.
Well, December is the summer.
Yeah,
Christmas.
the Christmas peak.
It's the second to bottom most line is the Wii U, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah. It's this line right here.
Yeah.
This line.
Yeah, and 3DS is the one that's doing pretty well. The 3DS is doing pretty well in comparison.
Wait. Which line is it?
This line right here.
The red line.
No, wait, I'm sorry. Let me dip it down here. It's just barely above the Vita.
At least it beat the Vita. That's
It
good.
barely beat
The
the
3DS
Vita.
is actually performing almost as well as the 360, though.
So, Joe, you said you had some words about this. I mean, we're big Nintendo fanboys.
Yeah.
We love playing Mario and Zelda, and the Wii U has some good titles. I was eyeing it in Costco the other day, the bundle, and I was thinking about possibly picking it up. But I didn't because I have a feeling Nintendo might be hacking the price here soon. But what do you think, Joe?
Yeah, well, Nintendo actually said officially they will not be hacking the price, but we'll see what happens.
Which means they
this
will.
year. Yeah, basically. So I'm a huge Nintendo fan. You can see some Nintendo graphics on my wall in the background here. I have every single console ever made except for the Virtual Boy is the only one I don't have. I think Joe Falby has that one.
I had one of
but I
those
have a
too.
Wii U. And here are the problems. There are basically two main problems that Nintendo has with this console. First, there are no good launch titles. It launched with a Mario, quote unquote, but it was just an HD port of the DS Mario, basically with different levels and a couple other things they added in. It's a two-dimensional Mario title. There's no 3D Mario title launch. There's no Zelda launch title. There's no Metroid launch title. There's no Mario Kart launch title. They really didn't have a good launch lineup at all. That's their first problem.
All right.
Their second problem, it's a Wii with an HDMI out.
Oh, man. Okay.
That's basically what it is.
Right.
And they changed the color. It's black. Now it does.
If you get the good version.
If
Yeah.
you get the good version.
Right.
Now in their defense, it does have this thing, which is the new controller for it, and it has the little.
It's a tablet.
screen.
You have a tablet.
It's basically a tablet, and it has a pen. It has the stylus. But it feels like just this big bulky toy. And also none of the games take advantage of this at all. So the screen is just mirroring what's on your TV. It's not doing anything interesting with
Wait
it.
a minute. I thought that was one of the big deals where it was supposed to be like a secondary screen, kind of like a throwback to the Dreamcast where you could look down for some specialty information. If you're playing like a sports game like Madden, you could pick your plays on your panel and your opponent couldn't see it. But then again, most games only support one panel per game.
That's right.
So
you sound exactly like the CEO of Nintendo of America selling it exactly like that. The problem is Nintendo, I think they put out like a Mario Party title, which makes use of this thing. Every other title for the Wii U is not doing anything with it at all. So I think the potential's there, but Nintendo's not marketing it right, and they didn't get a good launch lineup to make use of the controller. It's also kind of difficult to port over your Wii virtual console titles and your WiiWare titles. So these are the digital downloads you can buy on the Wii, which we, built up our libraries over the last 6 years. They make you jump through a bunch of hoops. It should be, we're talking about, we're in the age of the cloud. You should be able to click one button and all your titles should be over on the Wii U. It's not like that at all. You need to do an SD card transfer where you need to do this weird, it creates a DRM'd zip file of all your games and you put it on an SD card. Then you have to import that into the Wii U and it's like 5 or 6 steps and it takes forever. It's really ridiculous. And there's actually a third thing that Nintendo's doing wrong. Their updates are 5 gigabytes each and there have been 3 of them.
God.
I'm serious. They're basically, every time they do an update, they're basically not doing a delta where they just give you the changes of what you had last time, like an update. Instead, they're giving you the whole OS and everything all over again for every update. Why? And they've done it thrice now. I just had one today. It took like a half an hour to download. It was ridiculous. So that's another problem is the software people are not doing their updates right, and it's not a good user experience. You buy a Wii U, you plug it in, and you're sitting there for an hour before you can play. It's a forced update. You cannot background it. You cannot pause it. You just have to sit through it.
I was going to say, I heard like if you accidentally interrupt that update, can't you
Brick it.
Screw up and brick it?
Several people did. Yes, you can absolutely brick it.
Jesus.
If you, so not only are and this goes back to their software people again. Not only are these updates huge, I think that they're downloading it and sort of decompressing it right onto their virtual hard drive in real time. So like all the files are kind of being replaced. The real ones are being replaced as it's being downloaded. That's because they don't have enough free space to store both copies, right? So you need to store the 5 gigabyte update on their drive and then install it and then delete it. They don't have enough space. So they're literally kind of replacing it on the fly as it downloads. So if you lose power, you're bricked.
Oh,
That's
man.
ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
So what you're saying, Joe, is you would not recommend a Wii U to anybody. Is that that's the kind of gist that I'm getting from you right now.
I cannot recommend it with the current launch titles. If they had a good Mario, a good Zelda, and a good Metroid, I would be all over it, because you and I, Chase, we know it's all about the games. It's all about the gameplay. They have some wonderful IP.
Yeah.
The whole Zelda universe and the Metroid games are, at least not the games leading up to the current one.
Right.
The first 3 are really, really good, really solid games. They could have really done a strong launch, and they didn't. I think once they do come out with a good, solid set of games, it might be worth it. And I think the price is probably going to drop too, in which case it will be worth it. But currently, I'd wait.
I mean, I was going to say, I mean, if the sales continue on their present course, they're going to have to make a change. They're going to have to try to jumpstart sales.
So why do you think this story is about the... I mean, is it just because the Wii U sales are so bad? Because what I think maybe the more interesting story here could be the success of the 3DS. It's on an upward trajectory that looks really, really, really positive. It's about to outpace the Xbox 360. Do you think it's any surprise that the 3DS costs $170? Maybe that's why it's doing so well.
I have a 3DS XL, and I absolutely love it.
Do you play
I
it?
love mine
I
too.
do. Yeah, I have it very accessible.
Because I mean,
for that
I
reason.
think the argument that's being passed around right now that I have heard from other podcasts is that the iPad is killing the Wii U, and that tablet gaming. But wouldn't that argument make more sense for the 3DS than it would for the Wii U? So what's killing the Wii U? Just a lackluster product?
Lackluster product. You have a much larger upfront entry cost.
I think Nintendo has crossed into that area, that territory that tech companies sometimes go, where everybody in the tech chattering class likes to... Anything they do, like Rim's in that position, anything they do, they're doomed. I mean, so we really have here, Nintendo actually has...
You mean BlackBerry, right?
There's two,
they're not RIM anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
There was 2 ways to run the story. 1, the Wii U is a dramatic failure, or 2, the 3DS is exploding. But everybody's running it as the Wii U failure version. I just wonder why that is. Because they do have some success to report.
Hey, you guys! Remember, I got a
more
game.
fun to tear
I
it
got a
down.
Game Gear right up there. That thing is awesome. You get about 10 minutes of gameplay before it dies.
Yeah, that's true.
Greatest thing
And
ever.
it's an awesome passive matrix LCD screen.
Passive matrix.
So like if you're playing any game with fast animation, it's just a blur. I have one too, by the way. It's
Sonic is
yeah.
great
Oh,
on
yeah.
that thing, man.
That was awesome.
Hey,
Yeah,
let's,
Sonic's great until you move. Then
so
it has to scroll.
so this week, Sony is having an announcement on the 20th. Supposedly, in this announcement,
Maybe.
that they're going to talk about a PS4 release date is going to be announced, and possible rumors that it will support the PlayStation 3, but they will be streamed. So if you have, like, say, a PlayStation 3 library, those games will be streamed using their Akai technology. Is this a Akai? Is that what it is? Akai?
This is one of those stories that I think it's funny we covered now, since on Wednesday we'll have all the answers.
Yeah.
But I think one of the funnier aspects of this is some rumors are they're going to Nintendo it a little bit. They're not going to really rev the box in terms of overall performance specs. Now, some people think they're going to go to x86 chips and redo the graphics through and through and just have a banger of a box. But some people also think they're going to have a total lackluster box and they're going to rev the software primarily.
Now, should I play the teaser?
Sure, yeah.
I mean,
you have a teaser?
Well, there's a PlayStation teaser.
Why? Yeah, let's hear this.
I mean, it's nothing
Well, it
big,
doesn't
and
really
I'm not
tell you anything.
It's
Oh,
not
really?
Yeah, really.
Cue it up.
Something about February 20th.
Yeah, I mean, this is all this
So
is.
stuff we know. All right, so PlayStation, but it says PlayStation 2013
It's a-
teaser.
I mean, doesn't this look?
Basically, just
This
After
this
Effects.
really this is this
it's
is
an After
motion.
Effects video with it saying February 20th.
Yeah,
Oh.
this is
I mean, it's cool to look at, but
yeah this
So
is,
it doesn't tell us even what. You're not even a hint of what the shape
That
would
it?
be.
no.
Is that the entire?
Ooh, a
video?
triangle.
Yeah, they're saying the price is going to be.
Ooh, a triangle.
Ooh, and a circle.
Oh, that's got to
Oh,
tell
it's
us
the
Oh,
something.
controller.
X's
It's
and
their
O's.
controller things.
Oh
yes.
no.
No.
Oh.
That's it.
That's it. Yep.
Oh boy.
Save up your money now. $400, $420.
Somebody wake me up when the Steam box ships.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
So,
fine.
Sony has a pretty big problem with the PS3 in that it's not selling very well and they don't have a whole lot of games. Here's my theory on why. What?
Just kidding. I was joking.
The problem with the porting games or trying to get original titles and porting titles to the PS3 is that they have a radically unique architecture for the people trying to code the games. That's not just one processor and it's not x86. There are 8 processors. They're all not very powerful. And the code for the game has to be able to use all of them using multi-threading and other techniques in order to get high frame rates and stuff like that. So it doesn't use any of the same technologies that are available on other platforms. It doesn't use, obviously it doesn't use DirectX, but it's a completely different tool chain that people have to use and all kinds of new stuff they have to learn. So companies kind of do an analysis of what it would cost, and a lot of people don't want to port, and a lot of people don't want to do original titles. So I think that the rumor that they're going to switch over to x86 is kind of has some weight to it, because if they did, people could use OpenGL, which is the graphics library that's used on Mac and Linux. Microsoft doesn't use it, obviously, but the other two do, and it's free and open source. If PS4 used that and switched over to a regular architecture like x86 architecture, I think that games would be show up on it readily, and it'd be easy to port them. And that's the other thing, is they can get a lot of titles over to it.
Timing-wise, that'd be a really smart move for Sony to make, because I don't know if you guys saw this, but a week or two ago it became official that Microsoft is killing XNA. And I don't know if you're familiar with XNA, but that was the very fancy technology that let game developers write a game for Windows and for the Xbox 360 utilizing DirectX.
Just click, done.
Yeah, and the fact that you kill that off, that's really big news. And it leaves a lot of developers to look at their situation and go, well, now wait a minute, do I really necessarily want to invest in this technology? I think more people, because of that, will be using OpenGL and things like that.
Yeah.
this is just the way things go, though. I mean, it's always changing. You're always going to have these sort of changes, though.
Yeah, but are you going to buy one?
Isn't it interesting? I think the PlayStation 3 proves the
what?
fact that you can have a technically superior product, but if the implementation is too hard for developers, it doesn't really matter. It's almost a moot point. Because everybody hears how powerful the cell processors are and how the Sony PlayStations can be used to cure cancer by calculating numbers. But
Until they took the Linux support away.
well, yeah. But then when push comes to shove, I mean, I don't know. My experience has been the games I've bought for the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation, sometimes they actually play better on the 360.
Yeah, well,
but this PlayStation 3 is supposedly more powerful.
Well, the other thing the 360 has for it is the interface and the community support in the Xbox Live and how that is all
Xbox Live
seamlessly integrated. PlayStation Network sucks. I'm sorry to say, it's just terrible.
Well, no, I mean, you can hack it, and then once you
Online
hack
game-
it, you get complete control of it. And
But
you mean if you're not a hacker?
Yeah,
Oh.
but not only that, I mean, thank
thinking
God.
of
You know
hackers.
what? I like the Xbox Live because at least there's a certain expectation of gameplay performance when you're playing online. On the PlayStation 3,
It's hit and miss.
and it goes back to PlayStation 2,
Mm-hmm.
that responsibility is up to the developer. And if they don't have good servers or good bandwidth or whatever, like I've tried to play Michael Manna from the T4 show. We try to play MLB 12 The Show, which is a baseball game. It's an online game. It's terrible online gameplay. Just terrible. But if we play Madden on Xbox Live, it's seamless. So if PlayStation wants to make a dent in anything, they need to have a much better online community integration. And
I don't think it'll ever happen.
you don't think so, huh? Why is that,
And
John?
If we've seen anything from the management over at Sony, is that they just don't have a freaking clue.
Well, they have too many damn divisions. They have
Yeah, they do.
divisions that fight each
I
other.
mean, look, we've been hearing these stories forever from Sony Online, PlayStation Network. It's just it's never been any good, and it's been that way for years.
Well, I mean, I'm cautiously optimistic. And the other thing, too, that always worries me about these next-gen consoles, and we've seen articles about this, is they want to absolutely kill the secondary used game market. They want to kill it. And the way they're going to kill it is by requiring online authentication to play your game. And they're going to marry that game to your console, and they want to eliminate the used game market because they feel that, oh my God, the secondary used market is hampering our sales.
Yeah, I don't know.
They're going to kill it. They're going to kill it.
Well, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is
going away.
I can see them doing that. It's just I don't know that would necessarily turn out to be a good thing for them.
No, it's not. But I mean, remember, you got.
I think the used game market's already dead. I mean, you can't sell Minecraft used.
No.
You can't sell Steam games used. You can't sell iOS
well,
or Android
we had a
apps
story,
used.
I want to say 6 or 12 months ago. It's been a while where I think it was a country in Europe or maybe the European Union. I'm not sure who.
Yeah, but they are always
required...
such idiots. They are such idiots. They're also the morons that require notifications about cookies. They no, and I mean this. They implement legal policy with absolutely no technical backup. I mean, really.
You've seen
how can you make it? How can you make somebody give away? How can you make iOS apps resellable? You can't. You can't do it. Right?
Yeah.
There's no. I mean, maybe they could try to force Apple, but there's no way they're going to force Apple to do that.
People don't expect it either.
I know, and I think it's just kind of get that way with video games. It kind of is like as far as like digital video games go.
Well, Microsoft is actually starting to do something like that now with Office 2013. If you actually buy the retail copy, it's actually permanently attached to your PC. You cannot transfer that license to any other PC.
Well, that argument's been had for a long time, where you don't actually own the game or you don't actually own the program. You're renting it. You're renting it.
Right.
It's a license.
Yeah. Right.
I mean,
yeah, but what they're saying is that even if you got a new computer or your computer gets stolen and you buy a new one to replace that, you can't take that copy that you bought, that retail copy, and install it on the new machine. You'd have to buy an entirely new copy.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Well, I mean, the other question here is let's shift gears a little bit to the Xbox 720, or that's what they're calling it right now. We don't know for sure that's what it's going to be, but right now we'll say 720. But there is another rumor that the 720 is reportedly requiring a Kinect to function.
I bet it'll ship with one.
No, you'll need to have it plugged in. You'll need to have it set up in order to use. Because it'll integrate,
like that's how you'll navigate the menus or whatever.
Right, they want to spy on your living room. I mean,
Right.
No.
Sell ads.
Sell ads.
Microsoft now. Hold on, I think we talked about this last time I was on the show. Before we get too far down this road, Microsoft does have a patent on using Kinect-like technology to analyze like body fat and then showing you lose weight ads and stuff. That's creepy.
Yeah,
that's creepy.
Yeah.
So it's going to be on the prerequisites like you must have a TV. You must have an internet connection, and you must have your Kinect.
And please submit this piss test before you play a game again.
Yes, we want a urine sample before you can have it.
Yes, exactly.
I'm just waiting for the console, or the new next generation console that will have games that will not be on disc. Games will be on.
There goes your used market.
No, they'll be on USB dongles. They'll be on USB devices.
Thumb drives.
That as soon as you plug it into your console, it marries itself to the console. Okay. It rewrites back some sort of serial
number. You want this?
No. But this is what they're going to do to get rid of the used market, because they can't make everybody go online with these consoles, because I mean half of the country doesn't have high-speed internet. I don't know what the official statistic is, but not everybody has high-speed internet. So you can't require everybody to go online to authenticate.
Those people are not.
Those are not real Americans. Is that what you're saying, Chris?
No, they're not real gamers.
They're the people that they're when you make a product, you literally say these are not the people we want to sell our product to, and you just don't care. Yeah. I mean, that could be like look at Apple. The only way to get Mountain Lion on a Macintosh is to download it from the App Store.
Right.
They don't even sell it in the store.
No.
Not on a USB stick, not on a disc.
Right.
I think Apple's clearly saying in that scenario, if you don't have broadband, you're not really a customer we care to have.
We don't care about you.
I don't think it'd be completely unreasonable for a console to say that either.
Yeah.
I think a few years ago saying that broadband is available everywhere is ridiculous because it wasn't. There's a whole lot of places in the country where you can't get it. However, nowadays we actually have really cheap, affordable satellite internet with that new, I can't remember the name of it, the new one that just came out. It's 12 megabit down and like 1 megabit up satellite internet. Now it has really high latency, so gaming kind of sucks, but the bandwidth is there. So you can download huge things without a problem. And anyone can get it. The satellite reaches the entire United States.
Actually, according to GigaOM, on an article that ran in January, gosh, this seems impossible, but it says that U.S. broadband penetration is at 80%.
But what's the definition of broadband? Remember, isn't it 1 megabit or 1.5?
2.7 megabits, according to this report.
Wait, that's the official definition of broadband?
That's what they use for this report.
Where did they get that number?
No, that's just what this report used. I don't know if
Okay.
that's any like government number.
Yeah.
But they said
Upstream bandwidth 256K.
Well, here's an interesting a little disclaimer on the low end spectrum. Some that were still considered broadband by the ISPs were 327 kilobits down.
And the problem with that, I don't even want to get
man.
into that, but the problem with that is no competition. You have internet service providers that are also content providers, like Comcast.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to get into that because it just pisses me off. Because if we had true competition, like say in Europe or in Asia, where they're not intertwined, I guess if you would call it, where you can actually pick and choose and go a la carte and all that, it's whatever.
There's actually a satellite company called Exceed that was just recently announced
That's
to
the
be
one.
like one of the top.
That's the one.
For
That's what I was
broadband.
talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just trying
Yeah.
to find that story.
You know-
it was like Exceed for satellite and Verizon Files for tops for best speed.
And now here's another report that says we dropped to position number 23 in the world overall for broadband penetration.
Hey, we're moving up in the world.
Luxembourg's kicking our butt big time. So is
I
Denmark.
would love to see another update, another speed increase for my internet. I don't think I've seen one in about 2 years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nobody's doing. This is actually this is a
And
huge
it's kind of
issue.
ridiculous at this point.
You need to move
I
to
think.
FiOS country if you want updates.
But see, this is part of the
I know,
problem: is
yeah.
FiOS is not being installed anymore.
Nope.
What does anybody know of any internet infrastructure being developed right now?
no, and
I thought it was Google.
Well,
Google Fiber.
yeah, but
That's it, but that's only in one area.
But you know what the worst thing about that is you have AT&T, you have Verizon, you have these big telcos that are going into states and municipalities trying to get laws passed to prevent those small cities and municipalities to install their own fiber connections because they're being underserved.
I mean, we are
It's
sitting here.
happening already.
We're sitting here. We're sitting at it from the video and media distribution angle.
yeah.
We're talking about video
You and
game.
I,
We're talking
yeah.
about people that want to do video game distribution, and meanwhile, nobody in any of these companies is seriously talking about actually continuing to deploy broadband. We've sort of just hit this crappy wall, and we're not moving forward.
No, it's
really bad.
It's gonna hinder us.
Yeah.
And we're already getting countries that are smaller.
It's like if we stopped building roads all of a sudden. We just stopped building new roads. We're not going to.
We'll
crazy.
We'll stop building new roads, and what we'll do is we'll just patch them up. We'll just keep them together.
We'll just limit how many cars can be at the road at the same time.
No, but what we'll do, Chris,
And toll them if there's too many cars.
that's the thing. We're going to toll them to keep the same infrastructure in place,
Right.
and because we're not getting enough money in other ways.
yeah.
All right, sorry.
Well,
Meanwhile, they're making incredible profits.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
You know what I think is
exactly.
going to happen? I think this is what's going to happen. Right now, we have two main ways that the most of the U.S. get their internet. It's either DSL through the phone lines, which are literally 50 years old, and they can't really squeeze any more speed out of them, or it's cable, which is owned by Comcast or Time Warner,
Yep.
and they're not going to give us any more speed out of there. As a matter of fact, I think they're capped at 100 megabit, which for like a neighborhood block or something.
well, they're not
That's
even
like
capped
good.
at speed, but they're also capped at consumption. They're capping.
Yeah.
If God forbid, if you go over 300 gigs or whatever their limit is,
It was
unless you have,
Yeah.
well,
Well,
it was
it was
250,
250.
but they lifted it.
Oh.
And now Comcast, by the way,
Yeah.
they bought the last controlling interest of NBC Universal.
That's
And
right.
So now it's now Cabletown.
So we've got basically a roadblock there. We've got a roadblock with cable and we've got a roadblock with DSL with nothing really anyone can do. What about LTE? What about wireless? Is there
Expensive. It's too expensive
right, but why is it expensive?
because they're making it expensive.
Exactly. I don't think they have to. I don't think there's I think that there is technical reasons why DSL can't go faster because it's literally 50-year-old copper, and cable is radio frequency going through that wire. That's just, I don't think they can get more than 100 megabit to a neighborhood block out of that, is at least what I read somewhere. But LTE has serious potential. I think that maybe that's the future of home broadband, is we'll just get
Can I tell you
LTE
that
modems.
LTE is just as fast as my home broadband connection is right now.
It's faster than
I was
mine.
using it
Yeah.
the other day, and quite frankly, I didn't notice much of a difference. I mean, I'm sure I would notice it if I was like doing a lot of downloading and uploading, but for just plain browsing the internet and websites, it was just as fast.
This is where
amazing.
This is where Verizon was thinking ahead. And as far as a profit motive, what they did in 13 Western states is they had a whole bunch of copper. I mean, a lot of copper, which was old, expensive to maintain, and everything. They had a little bit of FiOS, but majority of it was copper. What they did is they found a sucker. They found Frontier Communications to buy it, or they did something called like a reverse Morris trust. I think that's what it's called. But anyway, they got rid of it. Okay, so now they don't have to maintain it anymore. They got a huge burden lifted off their shoulders, and now what they're doing is they're going back into those markets with LTE, with fixed LTE, charging them the same or a little bit higher price for a faster, better quality service than was ever delivered on DSL. And that's what they're doing. But the problem is, since no one else is doing fixed LTE other than Verizon right now, really, there's no competition, there's nothing to drive prices down, and that fixed LTE is also capped, usually, 5, 10, 20 gigs?
Super low.
It's super low.
Yeah,
it's super
low.
expensive
It is
per
low.
gigabyte.
I could never
Ugh.
use that as a home broadband connection.
No one,
Right.
we couldn't.
No one could.
No one could.
You can't
We're
watch
not
Netflix.
doing these live streams, not watching Netflix. No
Yeah.
way.
No.
No, nothing like that. But my point was that there's no technical reason why there's a cap. There's a cap because they're greedy, but there's no technical reason why there's a cap. I think LTE could be used for massive broadband.
I hope.
I
I love the
in the
idea
future.
of just like having internet through the air, right? Every device I have, if they were all LTE, they would just be connected immediately. You know, you could have LTE built into your laptop, LTE built into your phone, LTE built. You could have a network card that's just an LTE receiver.
Yeah. No, it's completely frustrating, and hopefully sometime. What are you guys talking?
No,
He's got a built-in cell antenna
I was
on this,
joking about the
on this
the antenna.
5-year-old beast over here, and he's just able to flip it up. It's not LTE though.
Oh, jeez.
It's probably Edge. I don't know what that would be at that. All right.
Oh
if the
man.
card was in there, there's no card in it.
Perhaps. And speaking of bandwidth, right when we start talking about it, the flash queue is lighting up. So go figure that one. No, well, there's a queue.
Yeah, it gets all cranky when your live stream gets all cranky.
Yeah, that's right. So anyway, let's move on now to a very popular segment of our show, which we like to call the picks of the week.
Wait,
It's- it's-
Minecraft gets all the fancy, or Minecraft Me gets all the fancy bumps?
Well, I need someone to make me
It's
some
the guest
bumps.
picks of the week.
Wow, the originating show doesn't get all the fancy bumps.
No.
I understand.
Well, it's not the money making show.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah. But it's time now for the picks of the week. It's something technology, gaming, or other sites we like here on the network. And we're going to start with our first guest of honor here in the studio, Mr. Chris Fisher.
I can make a bump. Picks of the week! There you go. See, I just did a bump for you on the fly.
Thank you very much.
All right, so I have a pick for you. You ready, Chase?
Yeah, go for it, man.
Now, if you're on the internet, now I don't know if you are, but there's probably a good chance you're on the internet if you're watching this show, and you've probably come across complaining before. Maybe it's something you've made and somebody's complaining, right?
Right? Yes.
Well, then there is a website you should send them to instead of having to take them on yourself. Send them to butthurtreportform.com, butthurtreportform.com.
Okay.
And you ask them to describe the nature of the butthurt, and then please tell them more about the butthurt, like someone said something I didn't agree with, someone posted a cartoon drawing I didn't like, someone was enjoying a game of book, television, or show that I do not enjoy, whatever it might be. You could also qualify if there's tears, and tell them more about the butthurt, and then when you submit the butthurt claim, it gets filed with the butthurt department. And
So how many of those have you gotten?
well, I always just recommend people fill these out if they have an issue with something I've done. So it's not so much for me to get the report, is if somebody's complaining, I can send this their way and they can fill it out.
Oh, wow.
So again, that's butthurtreportform.com.
Butthurt report. And
There's one of those for I think parking as well. If you find some jerk that's a horrible parker. Like they take up 2 spots.
You can report them.
Yeah.
I love it. I should fill this out right now.
Ah, yes. File my butt hurt. Very nice. I dig it. It's very
I'm going to report Bilbo. I'm
unprofessional.
going to report that Bilbo guy in your chat room.
I'm gonna have a. You guys are gonna laugh. I'm gonna put that as a quick cut and paste for Eve. Someone's complaining here. Go here.
Exactly. It's perfect for that.
Yep.
It's perfect. Oh, you got a problem here? Go here.
Go here.
Yeah, take care of it here.
Yeah, these guys handle all of our.
Like
our
one
weird
of the.
complaints.
Tell us more about the incident. Somebody killed my dude in a video game.
Yep. They blew my ships up while I was away taking a piss.
I asked for a critique about my art or writing, and I got it. Again, fill out the butthurt form. I like this. Were there tears? You know what? I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say yes. And did I have hurt feelings? I'm going to say yes. Did I miss work? No. I didn't miss work.
Oh, you want? I'm sorry. I thought I switched it back. My bad.
No, you didn't.
Did we lose sleep over the butthurt? No. Didn't lose sleep. So all these questions you can fill out to just sort of validate, your butthurtness. Is that a good pick? Does that work? It's a website. It's not an app.
Well, yeah.
I have an app. Do you want an app too?
No, this works.
They have an app.
Oh, okay. Oh, they have an app?
No, I'm asking you.
Oh no, I meant
would
like
say-
a desktop app.
Oh.
But this would be a great mobile app, wouldn't it? Like somebody's complaining, you just hand them your mobile phone and say, "Here, fill this out."
Fill this out.
Yeah, just get back to me when you're done with this. Like when you go to the doctor's office before you get help, you have to fill out a form. Same thing.
All right. Fair enough. All right. Thanks, Chris.
Mhm.
Great pick. I like it. I'm gonna put that on our website and just
Direct
go to
people
the
there.
I'll put it like one of those tiny URLs or shortcut URLs. They'll never know that they're going there.
I'm filing my claim right now.
All right, Mr. Joseph Huckabee, our next guest of honor. Why don't you give us your pick of the week? Week. It's very weak.
Oh, I'd be happy to. Sorry about the video quality. It just went to heck. Sorry about that. Can you still hear me okay?
I can hear you fine, even though you went to
Okay.
heck. You're okay.
Yeah, I went to heck. Speaking of internet connection quality in the residential areas, mine's terrible right now. My pick of the week
It's
is
improving.
called.
I can hear it improving. It's like someone's turning it up for you.
Yeah, they're hearing my butthurt complaint. My pick of the week is something that runs in the browser, and it's called Voxel.js. Now, for those of you who don't know, Voxel is basically a big fat pixel, and it's what Minecraft is kind of made on.
Okay.
Minecraft is a voxel-based game, so there's like big blocks. So here's why Voxel.js is so exciting. Internet browsers are getting more and more advanced, especially Google Chrome and the browsers that use the WebKit engine. They can now do basically three-dimensional rendering in the browser, and it's fast and it has high frame rate and it's nice and smooth. So this has sort of opened the door for people to make HTML5 games in the browser that are actually 3D. They can do things like take over the mouse, go full screen, audio's there. So they're getting all these pieces together, and somebody has made a really nice voxel rendering engine that runs in the browser. So that means that people, and it's open source, by the way, it's totally open source, and it's on GitHub, so the source is available for developers to get. So anyone can design a Minecraft-esque game that runs in the browser, and it doesn't require any plugins, it doesn't require Java, it doesn't require Flash, it just works. It's all built in. So it's pretty cool. The only problems are that it's brand new tech, so it's it's evolving,
Right.
and there are bugs. Google is always making updates to it. The other problem is there's some browsers that haven't adopted the 3D stuff in yet, and those are Safari and mobile iOS don't quite have it yet. Firefox has it, Google Chrome has it, and I think there's a way to get it in Internet Explorer 10, the latest Internet Explorer. But you have to do something. Microsoft is, Microsoft. They're falling behind in the browser wars. But the point is that we're going to see a renaissance of web games in the future. I know we are. It is just all the pieces are coming into place. It has taken them years to get audio working right. It has taken them years to get 3D working right. I was really into this stuff back in 2007, 2008, when it was just emerging, when you could sort of do two-dimensional games in the browser, just barely. You could get some scrolling going. You could get a little jumper, little side-scrolling game, little mini games, basically. But now there's so many more pieces in place where three-dimensional games, fully immersion is possible.
Have you guys seen the WebGL demos you can get in Chrome and some of the other browsers? There is some full-on like 3D games now you can play on the latest builds of Chrome that I would say, or at least Quake quality graphics
Absolutely.
in the browser.
You mentioned Quake. That's funny. Somebody actually ported Quake 2 to run in the browser. If you look for Quake 2 WebGL, you can find it. Someone actually brought a bunch of the levels over and they're playable. It's crazy.
Wow.
But yeah, it's amazing. So like no operating system needed. It'll just run. You can have a Chromebook, right? And it'll run. You can have any OS you want. Linux. Ubuntu. It'll work. It'll just run in the browser.
That's really
so
neat.
3D gaming in the browser, it's coming. And we're going to get a free open source Minecraft in there soon.
As long as it doesn't crash my browser, I'm okay with this. I just the one thing that frustrates me with Chrome is sometimes I think Flash will have some sort of fit, and it will cause my browser to crash.
Yeah.
So I'm okay. I don't know.
Well, there was the key word in there.
What?
Flash.
Flash. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
That's true.
Third party closed source proprietary Adobe plugin, which is known for crashing. Steve Jobs said it best. It's crap.
You know, we need to stop making fun of the internet connections, because all of a sudden, like everybody online just kind of crapped out. The queue filled up.
I know.
Suncast went
They
to
heard
non-HD.
us. They heard us.
I love you, internet providers. I love you all. You're great.
We specifically made fun of Frontier. We were kicking on
upset
Frontier.
somebody.
Yes.
They're watching.
Joseph, awesome pick, especially being a Minecraft fanboy. I especially like that pick, so it's a very good pick.
Thank you.
John Bub, Suncast. What is your pick of the week, sir?
All right, so as many people know, and I think I've said this a few times on your show when I've been on, is that I've been building a Hackintosh or a computer that I intend to turn into a Hackintosh.
What?
Does Tim Cook know about this?
No. Nobody knows anything. So I've been basically getting all my advice from a website called Tony Mac X86. And now that I actually have this computer built that I intend to turn into a Hackintosh,
Beast.
I've been looking for more advice on how to set it up and tweak it properly. And I've had a couple of issues where, like I didn't like the CPU cooler I wanted, so I wanted to get some other suggestions for what to get, or had some issues overclocking and I needed some help figuring out some other ways to get around this overclocking issue that I had. And when I've asked those suggestions, I've gone to the forums for Tony Mac X86. And Chase was saying this earlier before the show started, how these forums for Tony Mac X86 are just absolutely wonderful. It's such a great community, and a lot of times, and I'm sure Chase is the same way, we've been around the internet for so long. We've been a part of so many forums and communities that a good community from a bad community. Tony Mac X86 forums is a great community because there's just so many people that are doing what you're doing that also need help or have knowledge and are willing to help noobs like myself in their journey into building their first Hackintosh. And that's something that I think is extraordinary, is the fact that you can actually make a post, even if you are a noob, and you'll actually get extremely helpful advice. The guy that I've been dealing with mainly, I think, is DBP. Awesome guy. He's always responded and offered great advice for me as far as, building my Hackintosh. And you just don't find that with a lot of other forum and places out there on the internet where you want to ask a question or have something that you need help with, and nobody ever responds. Or if you're a noob, oh, shame on you, you're a noob. Why don't you go search first? They don't do that at Tony Mac X86 forums, which is one of the reasons why I just absolutely love that, and I can't recommend it more enough.
No, if you're taking a big plunge and wanting to learn about building a Apple computer using off-the-shelf PC component parts, and they have literally a great buyer's guide where they will give you links and walk you through to the most perfect compatible parts. You want to make absolutely sure that it's going to work with what they have. This is the site to go to. TonyMacX86.com.
Unibeast.
And Unibeast is incredible. That will actually give you the ability to put your downloaded Mountain Lion onto a USB drive or line. It does support line or Mountain Lion.
And boot from it.
Absolutely. No,
I've been very
it's a great
impressed
site.
with forums, because I've been to other forums where if you're a noob, they just yell at you and tell you to go search, or they just aren't generally nice. They're not helpful, or they never respond. Nobody ever responds to you. And that's just not helpful at all. And that's why I love Tony Mac X86.
Awesome pick. No, and I've used their tutorials many times in building, and also when I run into those weird errors or things that aren't quite working right, or if a new update has just come out and I want to make sure it's safe to
That's
install.
what I use it for right
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
That's what I use it for.
Yeah, no.
I have some production Hackintoshes, and I got to make sure before I update them.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I got right underneath your feet down there. I got 2 of them as well. So, no, great pick, Suncast, John. Awesome pick. My pick this week, pick of the week, is a hardware pick. Now, I picked up a couple of WeCube IPS 1440p beautiful monitors. I love them. You
got 2 of them now.
I have 2 of them now. One was a donation. One was out of my pocket. And the one thing is when I'm dealing with video, I want to be absolutely sure that the colors that I'm seeing on the monitor are accurate representations of what the colors are in the real world. Especially if you're doing anything with video or photography, it's very, very important. So a company by the name of Datacolor has these products called Spiders, and actually my Spider's a little...
Spider!
It's a little...
Ah!
little
What if I have arachnophobia, Chase?
then you might want to stay away.
Oh, gosh.
It's a little... my spider's tangled up. There we go.
What's going on over there, Chase?
Your spider is tangled up.
Here it is. So here's my Spider. I'm going to hold it up to the camera. This is the Spider 4 Pro. And the reason why I will make this my pick of the week is you can get a Spider 4, I would say Express, I believe is their entry-level version. But the problem with the Express is it does not support multiple monitor profiles. So if you have a multiple profile or multiple monitor setup like I do, you want to have them all load for all your monitors as your computer boots up. So the way this works is there's a software package that's plugged into your USB port. It runs through a series of tests where you put your monitor and your room lighting in normal for you. So you adjust the brightness, and then you swing this over this way. This is a weight. So this swings over. This goes flat against your monitor screen, and you let it run through its calibration procedure. It takes about 10 minutes, maybe 5-10 minutes, and it will accurately give you a before and after and calibrate your monitor with a color profile. And the neat thing also about the Pro is if you buck up a few more bucks for I think it's the Elite software package, this works. So you can buy the Pro. What I would suggest is buy the Pro, and then if you're interested in doing, say, TV calibration, then you can buy the Elite software package later. So you don't have to buy the Elite. If you buy the Elite now, that's fine. But I do have a link here in the show notes. So this is a link to to Amazon. It's $169 with Prime. And you can have that in a couple days, but according to them right now, it's taking an extra 1 to 2 days to process right now. But I would definitely, it's Amazon. But yeah, I would definitely suggest this if you're wanting to make sure that colors are right. And I run this every few months. It's got an easy calendar reminder feature. I cannot say I can't say anything bad about this. And also, when you're not in use, you leave it's got a little cradle that sits on your desk, and it will also adjust based upon ambient light. So sometimes I have all the studio lights up and I'm working, and then I'll turn off the studio lights, and I'll just have one light on. It will adjust the brightness of my monitor based upon the ambient light level.
Well, that's nice right there. So it still does stuff for you even when you're not calibrating.
That's right.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's got.
That's awesome.
Yeah, the sensor. There's a sensor in the front. If you notice here. There's that top part is a light, but that center part is an ambient light sensor.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I highly suggest it. It's if it's something where you play games or you do photography, it's more for video and photography buffs, but
definitely photos, right?
Photos. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You need this. And actually, if you're I would say a semi-pro photographer and you don't have one of these, dude, come on.
Then they're probably not pro.
That's why you're not pro.
So, Chase, if you put this thing to the real test, turn off all the lights in your office, then turn on the red bar behind you and make it solid red, so there's nothing but red light in there, and then see if it adjusts the monitor to compensate.
I'll be no, actually. It will throw up an error message. It will tell me that your ambient light is a little too low. You need more light. It will actually tell you if you want something to be accurate, you have to have the proper amount of ambient light. So if you don't, it will say you might need more ambient light. So
Okay, interesting.
no, that's my pick. We'll have a link to my pick and everyone's picks in the show notes, and you can find that at geekgamerweekly.com. So, before we wrap things up, I want to tell everybody some changes that are coming to the show. You guys okay? You got asthma? Are you guys all right?
Huh? Did you hear something?
Yeah, I mean, you're having problem breathing there. You okay, Chris?
I didn't hear anything.
Oh,
Chris.
okay.
They caught John.
You might want to check your headphones. You might have like another audio feed. in your
Yeah, I
headphones.
might have some sort of backfeed happening. Hello? All right, anyway. So, we're still going to deliver the news. I think it's important that we deliver the top news with our own flair and personality, because there's a lot of you guys that I've received emails where you like to hear our take on things. So we're still going to deliver that. However, I also want to deliver some things that are more geeky and more gamey. Gaming in the sense, not gamey as in going for wildlife and deers and stuff. So
But you are in Washington.
we are in Washington, the great Pacific Northwest. So what I'm going to ask for you guys that are watching, downloading, listening, streaming, whatever.
Hey-o.
If there's a particular tech question that you may have, say, you want to know what the best Linux distribution to install is, Chris Fisher.
That's
All right,
that's
I
complicated.
know,
Yeah,
I
Come
know.
on.
that's-
Sorry.
It depends on what you need.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I was.
I can't answer that question. Chase.
Where should I buy?
If you want to play Steam, probably Ubuntu.
Okay, where should I buy audio cables from?
Monoprice.
Monoprice.com. Okay, there you go. All right. All right. What? What was?
Monoprice.
Well, okay, that was Monoprice. Anyway, so basically, if you have your tech questions and also gaming questions, how-to questions, really any
Relationship
questions,
question.
relationship questions, we have a new email address. Brand spanking new. The email address is weekly@geekgamer.tv. So send in your questions. It can be video questions. It can be audio questions. Whatever you want. Send us your technology or gaming-related questions and comments to weekly@geekgamer.tv. And as we receive these questions, we will be building those into the show. Because I still want to deliver the top news in the world of gaming and technology. However, I also, we have such a combined experience. Well, actually, John's got more than I do. I mean, John's, how old are you now, John? I'm just kidding.
The age. Bringing up the age. Chase, that's ageist. That is
Hey,
ageist.
you
I
know
am
what you
ageist.
can do now?
What's that, John?
You can go to butthurtreportform.com.
You were waiting for that.
Very good.
What?
What?
You gotta fill that out.
Right,
Fill-
it's right
you gotta
there.
hurry up. You have
It's on the screen. All
keep-
right, now I gotta. Yeah.
keep it in a tab, right?
So
Let's see.
You gotta keep that up in a tab at all
So,
times.
please
item.
send us your technology or gaming-related stuff to weekly@geekgamer.tv. And as they come in, we'll formulate show prep around it. I mean, we really we'll get into it. I think it'll be a lot of fun to get into the how-tos and what's and whys. And I want it really to be driven by our community. We have a great community at geekgamer.tv, and I really want to get you guys involved and be a part of this newly relaunched show. Because really, this is brand new, refreshed, HD, new intro, throwback to some older music, which I missed. So it's back now. So hopefully you guys can be a part of the process. Send them in weekly@geekgamer.tv. And if you don't want to send any emails direct, you can always head over to our website at geekgamer.tv and use the contact form there, and you can do that.
Never mind the link that takes you to butthurt.com.
And don't go to butthurt.com.
And if you don't submit, then they'll just sit here and have nothing to talk about next week.
No, we'll just do the
Just sit here like this.
We'll come up with our own topics.
No, I mean you gotta get emails to weekly@geekgamer.tv, or there's gonna be no show to talk about.
Are you serious?
It's all up to them, Chase. It's up to them. Only them. Only them.
Only
Otherwise, you guys just sit here on your hands, right?
I guess.
Chase, I'm just trying to give them a little incentive.
I
to
know.
say-
I'm just trying to be nice. I'm just trying to be nice, Chris.
Try to put things on the line that way they get off their butts and email you.
Fair enough. Chris Fisher,
Sir.
you do some independent entertainment on demand, don't you?
JupiterBroadcasting.com.
Isn't that special?
Go get the Linux Action Show. We just put it out there, and
Yeah.
Steam was one of the topics we talked about. Also, Ubuntu Phone. Gonna be the first images will be available next week. We talked about that over there, and we also talked about making things happen automatically on your Linux box.
Oh, look at that! Your freeze frame. Look at that.
You see the lens flare in there?
I like that.
That's a little homage to JJ.
That's so much. And the Wrath of Kron.
Yep, the Wrath of Kron. See what we did there?
Use code Linux295 to get a .com for $2.95.
That's right, Linux 295.
Very, very nice. Jupiter Broadcasting, and by the way,
that fantastic Unfiltered show.
Oh wait,
that handsome devil Chase Nunes is on
Are you
there.
talking about this show right here?
That one right there.
This show right here.
That one right there. That is a fine show
that we do typically every Thursday evening, but will be Wednesday evening this week.
Mm-hmm.
You guys have 37 episodes in that?
Yeah.
Wow.
I know. It's ridiculous, isn't it?
Can you believe that?
Yeah.
But yeah,
God, I feel like I've been cheated on.
Also you're on the Twitters at Chris LAS.
It's true.
Thanks, Chris.
Thanks, Chase.
Mr. John Kessler.
What?
Wow.
Sorry. Yeah. John's not on any social media, so you cannot find him.
No.
But you can find him on Eve.
Yeah, I was gonna say if you play Eve Online, you can probably find him pretty easily.
John will destroy you. Right, John?
Yeah.
I will break you.
They're shipping the pieces.
I will shoot you into pieces.
Yes.
Can you tell us your Eve Online name?
No.
Why?
Because
We
he's
want
already
to
got
come
enough
find you
problems.
in the world.
We want to find you in the
Yeah.
one
He's
world.
gonna be fighting off the girls if you make him do that.
You know what you
Newberific
can
one.
do? You just go to his auto repair shop and ask him for his name.
That's right. Remember Woodinville Sports Cars in Woodinville, Washington.
Just call the number. I'll be the one answering the phone.
That's right. They're like, "Is this really John?" You're like, "Yeah, I'm just."
Yeah, that's me.
Hey, how are you feeling, John?
Not so ducky.
They'll call you up just to ask you how you're feeling.
Hey, what's the ducky level today? Click.
Awesome, John. Thanks so much, man. Mr. Joseph Huckabee, or Joe Huckabee, as we know you.
Indeed.
About.me/J Huckabee is your website. Where does that go? Is that so?
Well,
That's your
that's
about
just-
page.
Yeah, it's just an about page. I'm not promoting anything specifically right now, but I will say that I'm launching something really cool later this year, and it has to do with Minecraft, and it's going to be amazing. It's going to be really cool. It's an online service that is just going to revolutionize Minecraft, and you're all going to love it, and it'll be announced on Minecraft Me and maybe even this show, and we'll see.
Yes, and for everybody who wants to see what you look like again, there's your website. Man,
my mom took that picture.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say you kind of doing a little modeling thing there, man. You're just you're looking out towards the horizon,
Thinking about the future.
thinking about the future in an 8-bit.
At least that picture's HD. We should have just had it on that the whole time, and it would have been an HD show 100%.
That's true. No.
Joe, is your dad standing off to the side making snide comments or something?
Yes,
kind
he's
of glaring.
kicking. He's kicking me to this off the side. Yes, that's
And
his shadow.
you're like looking at him going, I'm gonna...
Yeah.
click. Oh, there's a picture there. Oh man.
By the
I'm
way,
saying, just take the picture and let me go.
John Kessler, late breaking news. According to Newberific in the chat room, there's going to be an SAO live action movie with a release date unknown. Nice.
Noob, where'd you find that?
After the show.
Come on.
Mr. John Bob. He's the guy that keeps everything together over there at GFQ Network. But you can also follow him at suncast.com or Suncast on Twitter. Or you can also buy a Suncast at the store. No, that's Sunkissed. I was thinking of a drink.
Oh.
You know, that orange
That'd be
drink?
crazy if you could buy me at the store. How cool would that be? Everybody could pick up a Suncast.
Yeah, the only problem is...
How much would you cost?
Yeah, I would do a price match, and I would probably take you back at 14 days. But yeah, you hold everything together at GFQ Network, which is the guys from Queens Network. Are you guys still calling it Guys from Queens Network, or is it now just GFQ Network?
I think we're making a switch over to GFQ Network soon.
Okay, but right now it's guysfromqueens.com, GFQ Network, where there's a whole load of shows, and actually this show is there as well. You can watch it there too if you want to.
It's the great fucking quality network.
You can also watch Tech News Weekly, which is the other show that I do on Friday nights at 5 p.m. Eastern.
5 Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific time, which is tough for me to do. I may not be on another show for a long time because guess what? I have a job. Well, I start in a week.
Yay!
Yes. I start in a week, and once I sign my I-9 form, which is the form where they certify and verify that you're legal and you can work in this country, then I will announce where I'm working. But in the meantime, not yet. But I'm very excited to be going to this company. It's a small little software company in Redmond. They do some online stuff. It's not Microsoft. So when I say small, people think, oh, Microsoft, huh? No. But I'm totally excited. I'm totally stoked. And my name is not John Bubb. I had to glance over. I'm like, no, I'm not John Bubb. As a reminder, you guys, we've been making the move.
See, I can control your computer too.
That's right. Oh wait, why is my mouse moving? Crap. All of our stuff is over on our website at geekgamer.tv. We have our very latest Minecraft Me there. We finished off Herobrine's Mansion in a great finale. It was an awesome episode. Special programming note, if you're watching us live right now, Minecraft Me will be live this Tuesday at 3 p.m. Pacific time.
Wow.
So, yes, if you're at work, you're going to have to sneak away. But it will be released normally on Thursday. But we're doing it on Tuesday because I'm doing some traveling towards the tail end of this week. So Tuesday, 3 p.m. Pacific time at live.geekgamer.tv. And tell a friend about us. And there will be soon an HD feed on iTunes of Geek Gamer Weekly. It's not there yet, but it will be soon. So if you want to subscribe to the video HD version of Geek Gamer Weekly, we'll have a link on our website when it does launch. So that's it. Well, you guys, awesome show. We're very happy to be back. I want to say a big thanks again to all of our guests, Mr. Chris Fisher, Joseph Huckabee, John Bubb, and John Kessler. My name is Chase Nunes. Until we all talk again, we are all silent. Say goodnight, Gracie.
Just Ducky. Good night, Gracie.
Bob Saget.
Joe Faulty. He won't watch this anyway. We miss you, Joe.